friends, ladies, we're live. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. This is the first time I've streamed here on my YouTube channel, probably this year for sure, and probably in like a few months. So excited to be here. Not that I haven't been streaming. I've been streaming on Facebook and LinkedIn, but yeah, I've been strictly doing uploads here on my YouTube channel. But I thought I'd do this today. We hit 4,000 subs here. So it's been kind of a fun ride, and I thought I would bring some of my awesome friends on here too to kind of celebrate, to answer questions, but really just down to the bottom of it is just to hang out with you guys and catch up. So let's say hello to everyone. So we'll go clockwise. Strick, you go first. Say hello to everyone, what you do, who you are, where you're based out of.
So my name is Strick. I'm actually based out of Birmingham, Alabama. So glad to be here with you today, Rob, and congratulations to you. 4,000 subscribers. That's really, really huge. I am one of the co-hosts of the Stream Show, which it airs on Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the eCam networks. And of course, we have a big partner, which is Rob. Rob is on every show with us, and we so appreciate his partnership in the Stream Show. So thank you for having me on today. And again, congratulations, man.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. All right, Steph, you're up next.
4,000. I feel like we need to have like confetti. Yeah, that's awesome. Hey everyone, I'm Stephanie Liu. I'm the host of Lights Camera Live, where we shine a spotlight on the best and brightest marketers in the industry. And happy to be here. This is a huge mess. I remember when you and I were still talking about like video and live streaming back at Social Media Marketing World. So to see you come this far, it's like, heck yeah, I want to be here for your little anniversary.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Steph. And you look good. You look good. The background looks good. The set looks good, as always. So thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Awesome. All right, Brant. Hello.
Hey, I'm Brant Collins. I'm in Little Rock, Arkansas, streaming live from my stream shed in the backyard. And I am one of the co-hosts of Stream Show with Strick. I'm the Brant portion of that. And DJ and I go live every Sunday night, and our goal is to help streamers succeed. And we appreciate Rob as a partner. And congratulations on 4,000. I better get busy on my channel. I think I have 32, so I gotta get busy.
Yeah. You got this, man. You got this. No, awesome, awesome. Love your guys' show. So yeah, glad to have both of you here today. It's such an honor. Awesome, thank you. And Kev, you're up.
Hey, I'm Kevin Colby, and my business is called Kevin Colby Media. I came up with a name I hoped I could remember at some point. I'm a video coach and a content creator. My background was more in TV for a long, long time, and got out of that and started doing my own thing with video. Love YouTube. And Rob, congratulations. I remember when you just had a few subs and you would not return any of my calls. And the fact now that you're at 4,000 and you have me on here, I love you, dude. And I love being on here with all you guys too. So thanks for having me. And by the way, too, I don't have a book, and my live stream show is coming back soon. So if you want to just send me hair products, I'll take that.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, Kev. Good to have you here. Last but not least, for sure, the only guy I think overseas here. How's it going over there? What's up, Dan?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. I am the only one from...
There you go.
I'm not on mute anymore. Yeah, from London. So I'm the person with the sophistication of the accent in the group. So yeah, Rob, well done. Congrats, as everyone else has said. I think you and I have known each other since your Thinkific days, if I remember rightly. Yes. So like, I think I actually watched your first ever video, and it was you trying to vlog about something, and it was a long time ago, man. So yeah, well done. You've done really, really well, and consistency, you keep on saying, is the key. So yeah, my name's Dan Holloway. I'm a business strategist. So I'm the guy behind lots of businesses' growth and scale. The kind of name that people don't really know, although you should, obviously, because I'm awesome.
Yes. Yeah, that's awesome, Dan. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think we go back to Thinkific days and hung out in San Diego with Steph and the rest of the social media folks out there. So yeah, it's been awesome. Great ride. Yeah, thanks for having for all of you to be here. I see some people here in the chat. So let's say hello to some of our friends over here. Let me see here. I'm just going through all the different things here. But you got Doc. What's up, Doc? Good to see you here.
Doc Rock.
Doc Rock is in the house. You got Just Samson. I miss you, man. I like Just Samson. Steph is a doll. There you go, Steph. A little love for you there.
Wow.
Rob, coffee, of course. We got Osti Van. Awesome. Osti Man TV. Thank you so much. This is great. Dean's here as well, and of course we got Ed Lawrence, Business Film Booth. Awesome. Most consistent man on YouTube, guys. This guy's uploading 3 times a week for like,
Wow.
he's trying to do it for 10 years.
Wow.
So that's like, that's
he's
long game.
He's British too. It took me a while to pick up on his accent.
Yeah.
Does he sound as British as me?
Oh, he sounds very British. Yeah. Ed's a great guy.
I guess we'll all have to start talking British.
Hey, Rob, I know we're celebrating your 4,000 subs, but I have an announcement I want to make. I am now the official president of the Stephanie Lou fan club.
Boom.
I wanted to make that announcement to everybody.
Yes.
My new position and new role. You can catch me on LinkedIn, and we're going to start the campaign really soon.
I love it.
Awesome.
Right,
There's
he's
a
over
mic.
here.
It's about to get dropped.
That's right.
Very nice.
Awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think Stephanie has a huge fan club. So yeah, this is awesome. It's been really fun. Like, I think, this is just an excuse, like I said, to hang out with all of you and just to have a casual conversation about all the things. I mean, it's the beginning of 2021. There's a lot of things that we don't get to talk about. Like there's we create content all the time. So I just love, like, you guys want to have any questions? If you guys are in the chat, you guys have any thoughts, you want to ask any of these awesome people up here. But I just want to talk about live streaming. We're live streaming right now. So, we are in an interesting part of, a little moment in history here with like the pandemic and everything. And obviously 2020 live streaming and videos like skyrocketed. The amount of consumption, the amount of creation that's happening. Would love to know your thoughts, as we sort of exit out of the pandemic later this year, or definitely hopefully by next year. What do you guys think live streaming, and what do you guys think videos in general will be? Will it still be, as embraced as it is right now? Do you think some people, when they go back to in-person conferences and meetups in person and stuff, do you think it'll kind of slow down, or do you think it's just going to keep on going?
Well, I hate to date myself on this, Rob, but I've been streaming and doing a lot of this since 2006. I had a failed startup in 2006, about the time Revision 3 was out, if anybody remembers that. And live streaming at that point was brand new. And I came from broadcast and did a year searching for financing to do a startup, and to have everybody tell me that YouTube was never going to make it. Right. So this has been bubbling, like, for me for years. And finally the technology is caught up. Streaming is free when you used to have to pay for it. Now you're on every platform. But, the pandemic got everybody, all the naysayers, to get on board. Once they started seeing themselves in Zoom, somebody tried to have a Zoom the other day, or just a conference call with me the other day, and I couldn't do it. I was just like, where's the video? Why are we going backwards? So I think people are going to get accustomed to this and keep doing it. Yeah, we still want to do meetups and stuff like that in person, but I think this is not going away.
I came from the broadcast background too, so it's always good to see another media brother or sister. And it's funny because for a long time you would have there. In fact, in the city I'm in, Market. See, it's sometimes it stays in your system. There was an anchor that left from a competing station to start a YouTube channel, and it's the Holderness family. They're huge on there, and he's here in town. And I remember some of the guys at the station going, he's leaving TV to start YouTube. And now I think it's funny to watch stations like, maybe we ought to do more with this YouTube thing rather than just upload our news stories. So, yeah, it's funny having been on both sides, just seeing it. But I think what we're going to see is the hybrid continue. I think there will, we do miss that, interaction at the same time. But if anything, I think it will continue to grow, and more platforms will come out, and some will last and some won't. But it's just, I don't see this thing slowing down at all, this thing called video.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? Like you're saying, like even I think overseas, we're mostly in like the western part of the world here, and we have like Facebook Live, LinkedIn, YouTube. Periscope is going to get sunsetted, but there's I think TikTok Live now and stuff like that. But like overseas, from what I've heard, there's like hundreds of live streaming platforms. In the Philippines, there's like this thing called Kumu, which like
Yes.
there's like so many people. I mean, Steph knows what's up.
I know what's up. Yeah.
People are like making so much money on there, live streaming just their life. It's kind of like what you would watch on like, what was that show on Netflix? What was that show on Netflix? The Black, what was it? Black
Mirror?
Which one?
Black Mirror?
Black Mirror. Yeah. So stuff like that. So like people are just
Right.
like, they're just live streaming their life like nonstop, and people are like sending them tips and money. But yeah, overseas there's so many live streaming platforms.
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know if that's going to come this way. We're kind of accustomed to our like 4 or 5. But what are your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Steph?
I mean, I'll jump in. So
Yeah.
one of the brands that had reached out to me had, Stephanie, have you really dabbled into live shopping? And I was like, well, I've heard, a little bit about Facebook Live and what they're doing and Amazon Live. And she's like, no. Have you heard what they're doing with live shopping in Asia? And so she gave me all this data. She gave me access to this platform called LiveScale. And it was fascinating. Like all the high fashion brands, they usually start off in their testing market is in Asia. And what they find is that billions of dollars are being made. And so they're now trying to expand LiveScale because it connects to Shopify. They're trying to expand it over into the West. And so being a part of that's like, wow, this is fascinating. Yeah. So as far as like where I see live streaming going, with so many of us not being able to go out as often or shop and all those other things in brick and mortar shops, I definitely do think live shopping is just that's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be huge. Yeah. I think there's some of that now, but not live shopping. Like on Instagram, you can buy stuff, right? Like if somebody's wearing stuff, you can like shop it. Like
yeah.
No,
this is sick. This is sick because, and this is all like invite for all of you to give it a shot. But on the LiveScale dashboard, what's nice about it is that unlike Facebook, where it's just like, hey, here's a link, go click. You actually have your product right next to you when you're showing it. And then in your dashboard, like right now we're in Restream, but in your dashboard, you could see the actual sales happening. You're like, oh, wait,
Wow.
hold up. Let me mention that code again, right? And then you have like a comment from Kevin. You're like, and this is what Kevin said. And like everyone roots for him. You're like, well, I'm going to keep him up there because just showing his face led to like 50 more like product sales. That to me, I was like, this is fascinating. That's where cool. I want to be.
That's interesting. Let's talk. Kind of reminds me Amazon Live. On that sort of like Amazon Live is kind of our closest thing. Sorry, Dan, you're going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say from like a business point of view and a psychology point of view, I'm going to rain a little bit on Stephanie's parade because she's the psychologist and the NLP expert here. So if I do this wrong, tell me. Okay. I'm sure she's going to have no problems correcting me.
Do we have a buzzer we can hit?
Yeah. The president of the fan club is present, right. So be careful. Yeah.
So from a business point of view, all right, you've got, have we all heard of the diffusion of innovations? You all know what that is? Yeah. No. So diffusion of innovation is basically when you launch something new, or when something new comes to a market or to a community or whatever, right? You basically have this almost like this bell curve, right? Mm-hmm. And you have the innovators. Then you have the early adopters, you have the early majority, the late majority, and then the laggards, right? And that's just how growth works. So it's just like iPhone users, they were absolutely targeting like early adopters and the innovators towards the beginning part of that curve. Yeah. And I think what this pandemic has done is it has massively compressed the time it usually takes to go from an early adopter to an early majority. Because normally that takes like years. Mm-hmm. And I think this is the first time I've ever seen any massive change the ways in which people think and the way in which people kind of are forced into this environment where they're just like almost like pressure cooked into making some big change. Mm-hmm. And I think the only one in history that I know of was the World Wars. There's the only ones that I'm aware of where there was such change and such like external pressure that people had no choice but to just jump in and do something different. And I think that's a massively accelerated shift from 10 years worth of change has been compressed down to like 2 years.
Wow.
And it's going to be great for some people. I think it's also going to be quite stressful, and from a psychological point of view, I think you're going to see a lot more, I think, people getting stressed out about it, people being a bit more kind of like about feeling like they're becoming laggards because they haven't had the time to kind of get used to the notion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of stress happening. I think, there's a lot of people watching, and, there's a lot of creators that have time to create or have teams. And then there's, other creators or other businesses that are like, oh, like, I'm not creating as much, how do I keep up, and, all this stuff. And there's a lot of burnout happening, in talking to a lot of creators behind the scenes, there's lots of imposter syndrome and creator burnout and all this stuff, because like, oh man, you're either feeling like you're not creating enough or you're creating too much, and like my like everything's off balance. So anybody have thoughts on that? Anybody having conversations like that behind the scenes?
Well, not as much about the burnout, but for the the outside of our ecosystem, there's other massive companies. I'm consulting with a company that's a manufacturer that's been doing what they do for years, actually in Canada and Mexico and here in Arkansas. And their business was based on one sales guy going to trade shows. Now they have to pivot, and then just like, what do we do? And, I'm going to start helping them with this, it's content. And there's a ton of companies that still don't have websites, that still don't understand this, that are having to figure it out now. They just have to figure it out now.
Jeez.
So just like Stephanie was talking about the opportunity to sell, but there's so many other opportunities for people to use live streaming. If you're good at it, if you can make content, or if you can get in front of a camera and compel people, and people can understand what you're saying and they can connect with you, there's loads of opportunity, more than just lifestyle stuff, no more than just about you as a personality, but getting with brands and connecting with brands to actually sell their products, or just to be endorsing their products online. If people are really smart about it, instead of getting burnt out, make a plan. And I know everybody on this stream today could talk about how you can make a plan, which direction you should go. I think that you should be smart about what you like. It's just like your time and investment is just like the stock market. You would say, hey, what would I invest in? And people always tell you, well, let's just start with stuff that you use. Like if you're an Amazon person and you always buy on Amazon, that's me. It's so easy just to pick up my phone and buy Amazon. Let's just go that direction. Let's start with, hey, what can I do with Amazon? Or I did a video that's on my YouTube about Nike. And I always wear Nike shoes. So let me see what I could do if I'm a sneakerhead and I like this particular product. How can I help or get in contact with them to brand with them? I mean, everybody's looking for somebody with a voice that can be compelling enough and to grab attention of other people, regardless of the level. You don't have to be, Will Smith to be a brand ambassador for somebody. What do you guys think about that?
I think you're dead on. I mean, I read an article the other day. I think it was either Inc. or Forbes or one of those magazines that I get the free subscription to. And they were talking about the businesses that are thriving and should continue to thrive are the ones that pivoted to digital for their current customers, rather than tried to chase new customers. And I thought, that's really smart, because you've got a customer base. I mean, whether you're a small mom and pop shop or whatever, and take them along with you. If you had a retail store that they can't come into anymore, then take those customers with you to the digital and reach them where they are there, super serve them in that digital space, and then maybe start going after the new ones. So I think if you take that with what you were saying, is like, yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to chase the things we don't know, as opposed to, wait a minute, what do I consume? What do I love? I mean, I'm an Amazon. I drank the Amazon, the Mac, and the Google Kool-Aid a long time ago. Right. I don't try and understand Android. We had an Android phone once we got free with this plan, and it would ring, and we could never figure out how to answer the phone. And then by the time it'd go to voicemail, then it was like, all right, we'll get the kids. We got to figure out how we can get the voicemail off here. And it's like, let's just get rid of the phone, get an iPhone. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, going with what your strengths are and what you do. And then if you're a business, here are your current customers that you can take to that digital world and thrive there. And if they love you, I mean, look at us. I mean, we've already thrown out how many brands? And
right. We have.
And
for free.
Yeah. And so when they love you, they're going to start promoting you and market you, and that's going to help you grow and then start reaching the newer customers too.
Yeah.
I think
one thing that
go ahead.
I'll say one thing that Steve was just saying about investing, and I mean, I talk to that about clients all the time. It's like one of my almost like my opening things. We all kind of work with clients. We go through the same things with every single client. It's almost like foundational, right? And one of the things I do is I actually explain the difference between investing and gambling, and you're absolutely spot on. Like when you invest in your time, if we went out, we invested because we were investing, you know, our time, our money, everything else. You'd actually do some research, right? You know, you'd actually figure out what you're doing. You'd be happy with the slow, steady gains over time. You know, you'd be looking at compound interest. I mean, that's how you invest, right? If you're doing it sensibly. If you want to gamble, go and buy loads of Bitcoin and then just like hope it flips.
Right.
You know,
Or GameStop.
Yeah, GameStop.
Exactly. Yeah, for the people who are like, do you think I should try Instagram? Do you think I should do YouTube? And how about I try this little thing over there? And I'll do that over there. And I'll do a bit of that. And I'll hire this person to do this. And I'm like, just stick with two things, do them well, and be happy with steady, consistent compound interest gains.
Yeah.
And that's all you got to do. You don't need to complicate it.
Yeah.
One thing I want everybody to understand too, my day job is a marketing director, and I'm a sole marketing director. And a lot of these people, you know, I think Rob's probably doing his job alone. And, you know, everybody's working with small teams. And I've been preaching content marketing for 10 years and nobody listens, you know, but now all of a sudden they're like, we have to have this content. So kind of if you're watching the showrunner with Stephanie's show, teaching you how to do a virtual production and how to be a production person to make content. Yeah. It's kind of, I think the big boom is going to be is like, I don't have the time to figure this out. My boss called, we've got to pivot tomorrow. Who can I hire to get this done? I just need that. They look good. They have a good kind of thing. They got a package together, all the stuff that Stephanie talked about yesterday in her show, you know, pricing, how to do this. I ran an ad agency and field production company with my wife. I mean, you know, when they start calling, you need to have those prices ready to go, because I think there's going to be a boom for creators. You might be the spokesperson, you know, for your local used car dealer, or you might just be behind the scenes getting everything together to make their CEO look better. But I think that's going to be the huge uptick for everyone that's out there learning how to content create now. It might not be your 100,000 YouTube channel you want, but it might be even bigger than that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a really good comment here from Vaughn. He says, for my corporate job this week, we're having our first virtual kickoff instead of convening at the HQ in Denver. It's been an interesting shift. Yeah. So, you know.
So think about all those people, Rob, that are coming in into that business, and say that a lot of those are board members. What if a board member comes to this video conference and their setup looks really bad?
That's right. Yeah.
You gotta call one of you guys.
That happens. That happens. If some people, they're knocking virtual events these days, they're like, no, you know, it's not done very well. But when you hop into like the group networking, when they break you out into the groups and you show up like your fine self, they're gonna be like, hold up. What you got going over there? Right? They're gonna hit you up. They're just be like, Strick, like, what's your gear? And you're like, oh, DM, boom, here you go. Here's my gear guide. Once they get like a taste of that, they want to know you. And when you're at these events with these shareholders, right? Who do you think they're gonna turn to? They're gonna turn to the next person in the board meeting, right? They're like, oh, you want to look like Kev? You want to look like a Rob Balasabas? This is what you got to do. That's money right there. Yeah, that's everything.
So I was watching CNN the other day. So they have a 5-panel shift. The panel looks like this. Well, there was one person. She was a doctor. She had great content. She was able to articulate what she was saying, and it was incredible. Guess what? She was probably on a webcam. And it's not that it was bad, but at this point, what you're saying, people are not connecting with because it doesn't look that good. And of course, our job, all of us, help people, you know, do it better, streaming better. If everybody's going to be live streaming, Rob, guess what? They're going to need professionals to help them do it better from the audio perspective, video and lights. It's simple, but these are still ideas that the common person doesn't know. I mean, if you're going to school to be a doctor, I mean, the last thing you want to do is take time to figure out how to live stream. But it is so very important right now because I was at a church here locally in Birmingham, and you can't go to churches, right? So every church in America that you could not go to was on the same playing field. All right. That playing field was the internet. And how do you decide what church is big or little at this point? You don't. It's all depend on how innovative they were to make their content look good online. So it could have been a mega church, but if they didn't take the time to really get into the content, how it looked, making sure they had the right cameras, the quality was there, guess what? People weren't going to engage with them. They could be engaging with the one person that's sitting in an office like this and had great quality. And guess what? That would have been more engaging than a pastor that had a huge church if he didn't take the time to do the streaming right. So this is where streaming is going. Like everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to be online. This is going to happen. It cuts time out. So how long would it take for me to get where you are, Rob?
I don't know. 8 hours? 8 hours. 8 hours.
And it
was
8 hours a day for the last 6 months to get to 4,000. No.
No, I was
Plus
far
an
as
extra 4 hours
where you
between
are
design
traveling wise, you know, from a travel perspective, man, you could talk and see each other and engage
in a minute,
in just minutes. Live streaming, and I just think it's the way to go. I mean, people call me all the time, hey Strick, can we meet?
Let me send you a link.
Yeah, here's my link.
Your link. It's so much easier. You know, I throw a good t-shirt on, turn the lights on, let's go. We can engage.
That's right. I'm wearing
Here's a question for all of you.
Yeah, I've got my jammy pants on right now. Nobody knows it. They're all Batman, but you know, I mean, the internet has been the equalizer for every business and every person, if you think about it. I mean, when people talk about, well, you know, what, you know, I don't even know where to start. Dude, YouTube. I mean, maybe you haven't heard of it. It's YouTube. It's like the biggest thing out there. It's free. And, you know, whether it's small churches, small businesses, big businesses, you know, I mean, now granted, you can do crappy virtual events and look bad online, but you don't need much to start, and you don't have to wait till your channel is so big like Rob's or other channels, or you don't have to wait till you have a big budget. I mean, it is the absolute equalizer for probably the first time in history like this. I mean, most people have internet connection, and most people have a phone, and it's like, you know, it couldn't be easier, I don't think, to get into live streaming and get into video content, because the tools are free a lot of times. You've already got them. And just, I think it's more the fear and the what ifs and this and that, or when I have enough. Yeah, I've seen people post in these groups, you know, well, you know, when I have up enough, I want to buy a nice camera. And I say, you know, that's like when you have enough money, you'll get married. And it just, I've been married a long time and we still haven't found that money. So, you know, wherever that went, you know, but it's like, just get into it and do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No. Hey, am I the only person that's jealous of the people that have fiber in their neighborhood?
No.
Oh my god. Okay. Speaking of like getting married, and
I had fiber for breakfast. I don't know if that counts. But,
last year was our wedding anniversary, like our 5-year wedding anniversary. My husband's like, "What do you want for our wedding anniversary?" Right. And I was like, "Fiber internet. That's what I want." I was like, "That's what I want," because I'm done. You know, walking around the house trying to kick people off the internet. Like, I need you to get off. Right. And when the dude came over, and I opened the door. I was like, "Welcome to my home." Yes. What do you need to do to set? Would you like some, you know, some filtered water? What do you need? I was all about that. Valentine's
Day, we are in London.
Valentine's Day.
I've got 520 meg down and about 40 meg up.
Nice.
Which is quick. Where we're looking, this is one of these COVID things, right? So we live in West London, so I'm not in my studio, because in my studio I have my lights, my Rodecaster, my actual microphone setup, have soundproofing and everything. I'm in my bedroom right now with a camera on a tripod, a Camlink 4K, and 2 of these tiny little diddy lights.
Right.
That's all I've got, because we're locked down. I can't leave the house. So I've got the most basic setup I could possibly cobble together out of my backpack. But it's like, you do what you got to do, and you use what you've got. And it's the only thing I do have that I'm actually happy with right now is my internet, but I'm still here.
Right.
I live in a very rural area, and it was about 1,000 feet to get the cable, high speed. I had like a very bad AT&T 3 meg line that was maybe 1, and I was building my studio. I kind of had, I needed to get more internet. I talked to everybody trying to get them. They wanted to charge me to bury the cable. And when COVID hit, my kids had to virtual learn from home. I had to stay home and be with them and also do my job. So I talked to my neighbor. Luckily, my neighbor does for his church what Strick does. He understood it all. We dropped a cable line at his house. It's about 1,000 yards away. And then I bought point-to-point wireless stuff. So I'm doing point-to-point wireless, 250 meg down, 20 megs up. But I put it off. But when COVID hit, I had to have it. I had to figure it out, and so, and due to figuring that out, and then did Vlogmas. I did it. I have all kinds of production equipment. I did it with my phone just to prove a point. I did 30 days on the phone, edited in LumaFusion. I think I like LumaFusion better than any nonlinear editor that I've ever used. $40 for that, your phone you already have, and you can live stream, do your content.
That's awesome. It's awesome. I want to say quick thank you to Dr. Elo. He just dropped in super chat here. I totally forgot about super chats, guys. Man.
Yeah.
Speaking of like Kumu and all that stuff, like super chat's been around forever, but all these things of like, making sure creators are, making money. That's a big thing that we try to talk about it too, buddy. Like, that's important. You got to make content, but you got to think about the business side. You got to make sure it's sustainable. All these gear and things, like, they all cost money. Your time, fiber internet costs money, right? So, it's really important to think about that. So on that note, I want to hear some of the things that you guys are doing. So what are some things you guys are doing to monetize content? Like, I know we're doing celebrations here, but like, I just want to pick your brain. So what are some things that are some of the revenue channels for your content, courses, books? I know, Steph, you got a book with the crew there. What are some of those things?
Well, can I say this before anybody gives a response to that, Rob? I'm actually going to text inside of the chat here for us all of my responses to Dan so he can say it in his accent for me.
That's
cool, Dan? God.
I think there's a service for that, right? Like,
is there a service for that? I mean,
yeah, there is. It doesn't involve happy endings, but there is a service for that.
Hey, listen. Just say the stream show with Strick and Brant, and I'll chop it up later. But I'm sorry. I just had to say that, Dan. I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's right. The stream show.
The stream show. Strick
the
and
stream
Brant.
show with Strick and Brant.
Well, that's going to be a lot of editing, but good effort, Dan.
Got it.
Let's start with, I don't want to hear the monetization. Let's start with Stephanie, because she's probably, she's got books and a lot of stuff out there that we need to all learn how to do.
Oh man,
it's Stephanie's show.
No, this is the chance that I get to hang out with Rob and the rest of the crew, because otherwise I'm in kindergarten. I'm in kindergarten 3 days out of the week. So talking about monetization and live streaming, man, there's a ton of different ways. Let's go back to Amazon Live, because I feel like that got majority of the attention yesterday on Showrunner. So you're talking about Amazon Live and how you could start your own show there. Yes. If you wanted to do this yourself as a content creator, do what Sean Cannell does. He looks at Google Trends. And so we're in the month of February. What are people Googling right now? Gifts for husbands, gifts for wives, gifts for their significant others. Can you do a show about that? What are the top 5 gifts under $25 that you could do right now? boom, there's a show for you.
Wow.
So that was like one of the things that I was like, oh, that's so brilliant. That's how you could leverage Amazon Live right now. And then we started talking about the fact that there are products on Amazon where they might not have the best rating. And so if you could reach out to them and say like, hey, you know what? I've actually used your product and I want to show people how amazing it is. Can I do an Amazon Live for you? Once they see the impact and the production that you're able to do for them, who do you think they're going to hire? Boom, boom, you guys, right?
Yeah.
So that's like my first tip. Amazon Live, Google Trends, reach out to merchants that are on Amazon and have fun with that. You could do the same thing on Facebook Live. There's Facebook Live shopping. We talked a little bit about virtual events. You could go live into a Facebook event, help these nonprofits, these organizations that don't have like the click funnels, the emails, and all that other stuff. The Facebook ecosystem has that all there for you. Create an event, go live into the event. You can make the event paid, produce the actual broadcast, and you're good to go. There are so many things that you can do. I'm going to pause for now because I know you guys have other ideas too, but that's two right there.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. I'm very curious about Amazon Live. I think Amazon Live is still only available for Americans, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that correct?
I have seen nothing about it over here.
Yeah,
like
you
like
can
to be
have
an Amazon Live creator, right? It's like in the US only.
You
for
can
now?
set up your
I have to
difference
check.
because I have an Amazon Live account,
Yeah.
or I'm on there, and
Yours-
you
yeah.
can set up your stores for different markets.
Mm.
Like Canada and India and all these other ones, and then they'll just kind of merge your links and things like that. I think the shows can be seen anywhere. I don't know if you mean like, do you have to live in the States or certain places?
Yeah, that's what I
to
meant. That's what I
broadcast?
meant.
That might
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, but it's like it's gonna blow up. I think like I think Amazon Live. I mean, Amazon is just
I
so
agree.
big.
Well,
they
I
roll
mean,
it out to
it goes back to the shopping thing. I mean, I've only had it for, I don't know, a few weeks, and it's weird. Like Bradley Teaches was doing one of his the other day, and he said, it was weird. I was nervous my first one, and I'm not throwing Bradley under the bus. I said, dude, I was too. As much as you live stream, all of a sudden it's that new platform. It's and it took me a couple. It's like, okay, I got to realize that people are on here shopping.
Right.
They're looking for things. You can still entertain them, and you can still teach them some stuff,
Mhm.
but they may not be looking for a long interview show. They may be looking for more like, weaving the products in there. And then like somebody said earlier, I forgot who it was, talking about, maybe DJ was, talk about what you use and what you do. And Stephanie, I love your idea about reaching out to products that are, aren't the knockoffs reaching out to us all the time, but the real products, and go, hey, I've got this live show and I got this set up, I'd love to talk about your product and just see where it goes. And then in turn with the Amazon thing is you have the potential to make affiliate dollars that way. Yeah. And the shows live, and then they're going to feature those shows on those pages while people are shopping while you're live, which is just a whole nother thing too. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, I'm going to go over here and set up that now. I haven't started with that yet. And I was talking to somebody last night that said we did we were talking about gaming on online last night, just streaming for a couple hours, just talking about dads at game. And one guy said he's just playing games while people are shopping, and he's making money. I was like, excuse me? Yeah, not interacting, not showing this product, just I'm playing.
That is interesting.
Jim Furs and Chris Stone, I'm sorry, that do a show called Dealcasters Live. They're actually the ones who got me to reapply. And they said there's a guy that all he does is he just edits on his live stream, and occasionally he'll just mention a product, and then he just goes back to editing. And I'm like, sometimes it's the simple ideas that I'm looking. No, let me overcomplicate this okay, you just edit and go. Oh, by the way, speaking of coffee,
there's something called Clubhouse. There's a really, really funny. I can't remember the life of me the guy's name. But he's got something ridiculous like 30,000 followers or something on Clubhouse. He's only been on there a couple of weeks. All he did was he put open up a room, put a couple of mods in there, and he called it silent meditation, come and go as you wish. Right. So he sat in his room, he just put it on mute, he just left his phone on the side, basically for about 2 weeks straight, and he just gains followers. People go in, they silently meditate, they follow him, there you go. He never says anything.
That's awesome.
That's the, you know what? That is the great world we're in, that I've got to go to my phone, turn an app on, to go to a room,
It's quiet.
to be quiet, shut the app off. You gotta love it.
Nobody on this panel could make it. They wouldn't make it 5 minutes.
So the question is,
can we talk now? Can we talk now?
Even with the with that as a model for how we're gaining influence. So he's got 30,000 people that are following him, or people that, you know, Amazon Live may not be what they desire to do. They don't want to get on, whether it's playing games and getting paid. It's just not them. And at the end of the day, you know, what about how much you're getting paid for that time? Okay, people are buying. Are there other ways that you can actually make money online or monetize yourself? I will say this, the gamers have it. You know, if you can actually play games and people from all over the world that are just giving you money because maybe you showed them a tip, or they want their name on your feed and they will give you 5, 10 or however much money, and you get to keep a lot of that. Oh, I just think finding ways to engage a community that is willing to support you because you're doing something that affects them or encourages them, and it's they're giving to that personality. I just think that's like one of the things that I would focus on.
Yeah.
Maybe I start a channel called How to Suck at Mario World, because I'm really bad at that.
And you would be the best at sucking, and people would pay you money.
He can't even get past the first level. That's right.
I think the hard part,
Isn't Bob the president of that society?
I think the hard part,
is it Mario Kart?
That's right.
All the Mario games I'm horrible at.
I love Mario Kart. Yeah.
One of the things that I like to try to let people think about, because I go into a lot of the clubhouse rooms as well, you know, make 6 figures in 6 months or whatever. And there's just all that people talking about fast money. Same thing with YouTube.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait, right? We couldn't wait. DG and I couldn't wait. We just did the show because we asked, and we just kept going forward, and we've been monetized since day one.
Before day one.
Cup of coffee, or just some brand deals and stuff. But when you start doing the math, and we've talked about it, we spent hours. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm sitting there doing the math. I got the spreadsheets. I'm like, this will work great for me, right? I could make this much money, but now we're splitting it to 2 people. Now we really got to figure out, this is a business, right? How are we going to fund 3, 4, 5 people, an assistant, an editor, and sometimes I get a little frustrated, and people are like, you could be like Mr. Beast, Yeah, they've got teams and teams of people, and they've been doing, it's going to take some work to get there. So there is some real ways to make money. And a lot of it is your information. I'm a consultant, so I always kind of default to the service industry, but I popped into a clubhouse the other day that DJ was hosting. I was there 5 minutes, and a lady was like, send me a contract, right? I mean, it was a school that wanted to bring streaming into their school, a college. They're like, we could do that, So that's awesome. There's all these different avenues now. Then your skill set in what you do, as a service. But I've done it too. You have to get locked into, I'm running out all day long. Now I can't make content because I'm doing content for other people. So you have to balance all that. How are you going to scale it? That's what I obsess about, is how does this scale to where I'm not streaming, 80 hours a week to make a living?
I think I've got a question. A lot of people.
We all froze. I was going to ask Stephanie of all the things that you've been involved in, from the books to the courses to all the other things, what's the ones that just you've enjoyed the most?
Good question.
Wow. The ones that I enjoy the most is probably the live video production of it, simply because you're helping them build an experience, right? And so you're running them through the run-of show. You're giving them ideas. And I feel like creativity is my sweet spot. So when I'm talking about, when you have this virtual event, are you going to have an MC, right? Let's bring a magician. Let's bring a contortionist, like a cello player, whatever it is, to make it fun and exciting. That's where I love seeing them realize that live streaming can be so much more than just talking to a camera.
Right.
It's creating an experience online. And so that's why, once we're done doing like a 13-hour live stream, I'm like, damn, that was so good. And that's one day, and I'm not going to work for the rest of the week.
That's
Cool.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you know what, guys? I want to respect your time. This has been really fun, and I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. And we got to do this more often. Maybe we should do this like once a month and just bring people on here. But this is awesome, and I know you guys have a ton of things on your plate and schedules and calls and Zoom calls. Hopefully not Zoom calls, but yeah. So yeah, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate everyone that's hung out on the live stream too, and Sammy and Just Samson, Doc Rock, Dr. Elo, Brock, everyone that's been dropping in and out, and it's been awesome. So where can we find all of you and just continue these conversations and just continue catching all of the nuggets that you guys are throwing out there? We'll start with Steph. We'll go clockwise again.
Hey, the best place to find me, honestly, to make connections is going to be in the Social Media Strategist Facebook group. That's where I feel like I'm always trying to break things. So if you want to beta test things with me and give it a go, that's the best place to find me. I'm also in Rob's Content Creators Marketing Cafe. So I'm there too if you have any questions.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Strick, you're up.
Yes, you can find me on the Stephanie Lou fan page.
What's the website for that?
Yeah, the president and CEO Stephanie Lou fan page .live. You can find me there. Yeah.
Club. No.
Right. So of course, Brent and I, we have a show that comes on Sunday. So we have a page called The Stream Show on Facebook. You can find us there, talk to us, and get engaged with us. I am on Facebook at dj.strick. And of course, I do a lifestyle type of show on Facebook and YouTube. You can find me there. And I would love to connect with people, even if it is just to help. Hey, can I place my camera in a different place? Yes, you can place it in a different place. It's okay. More importantly, press the button. That's how I like to help and encourage people by doing some small coaching with Brant. So that's what we're doing now.
Love it. I love it. Awesome. Thanks, Trick. All right, Kev.
Rob.
Probably the best places would be my website, kevincolby.com. Again, I'm trying to keep the consistency going there with the name, and YouTube as well. I absolutely love connecting with people. I mean, I hang out on Facebook and Twitter. I just do snarky stuff at folks, but my website and YouTube, and I'll also be checking the fiber at Stephanie's house too, just to make sure it's okay. Just I just want to follow in the footsteps. So,
I think I already bought stephanielou.club. That'll redirect you to where you need to find me.
Very, very nice. Very nice. As long as I get the sparkling water, I'm good.
It was filtered water.
Filtered.
Well, whatever. It's water. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I'm gonna skip me, and we're gonna go to Brent.
Yeah, you can find us at the streamshow.live. I'm just, Brant Collins. If you search me on Google, a ton of stuff comes up. I've been putting stuff out since forever, but brantcollins.com is another way to get to me. I have a gaming channel on Facebook Gaming, Big Daddy Gaming. That's something that I'm kind of leaning into for the last couple of years. It kind of got me back into streaming. So LinkedIn is always a great place to catch with me. I'm always active there and on Clubhouse. So, and I bought all the club names not too long ago. I don't have them all set up and redirected, but I bought them.
Yeah, perfect. And we're gonna bring you on, and we're gonna talk on the TubeBuddy channel all about gaming and gaming creators and having a business around that. So that's gonna be fun. Awesome. Great. And of course, the man overseas here.
So I'm going to be practicing the Strick and Brant show announcement, because obviously I need to level up my game when it comes to that one. You can find me at Dan Holloway Live on basically all the social platforms. I too have bought the .club domains. I even bought danknows.club, which I've discovered is actually quite fun when you're on Twitter, because I can put things like hashtag Dan knows,
that's great.
Hashtag something, or at people, and it's actually quite funny. And if you want to ask any questions, dig into my brain, you are more than welcome to. I'm usually found in Rob's Club on Facebook, or like I said, any of the social channels. You can hunt me down and find my bald head.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right. Well, thanks, Dan, Steph, Strick, Brand, Kev. Thank you so much. Also, Doc Rock came in with a super chat. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Great. This has been really fun. Thanks, everyone. I mean, just to everybody that's catching this, everybody that's subscribed to the channel, it's been really fun. Going to continue. Going to be doing some shorts. We didn't get to talk about this. We'll do this next time, but going to be trying to mess around with some YouTube shorts and stuff on this channel. And you know, just it's always an experiment, always a test.
Rob is being shy. You guys, this is Rob's 4K. This is Rob's 4K. Man, what's next? What's next? Tell us what's next.
What's next? Much of the same. It's, you know, just creating once a week and trying to not do like daily, which I used to try. But yeah, YouTube Shorts. So that's probably the quickest answer there, Steph. So I'm going to mess around with YouTube Shorts. I think that's going to be a big opportunity for a lot of YouTube creators. And, you know, it's like YouTube Shorts versus TikTok right now, in my opinion. Okay. So we'll see.
Interesting.
We'll see. We're getting a lot of TikTokers migrating over to YouTube.
Don't sleep.
Yeah. All the
you got to do the snaps and the points.
That's right. That's right. You got to do that. That's right. Thanks, Trick. Good reminder. Awesome. Well, this is fun. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys so much. And we'll catch up. Next video or some Facebook group somewhere.
Yeah. Congratulations.
All right, guys. Take care.
Guys.
Bye, everyone.